Alright folks, I'm here with my 2016 Town & Country Chrysler van, and this piece right here, I should have had a piece of trim on here, but I was driving down the road one day and I heard this awful noise on my van, and I looked in my rearview mirror and I saw this thing was just flapping in the wind horribly, whapping on the side of the van, and I stopped and I pulled it off and threw it in the back and went on down the road. And it's been like this for a while. I'm finally getting around to replacing it. I've done some research, and it looks like a lot of people have lost these driving down the road. They come loose and they fly off, and people never find them or whatever. But basically what happens is there's a little piece that sticks up here that's held on by a Torx bolt on the other side, and I'm going to show you all this. But that breaks and then allows these pieces here, which lock in on these holes right here, to slide up, and then the thing is gone. But even if you find it, if this piece is broken off, this little tab here, you're kind of out of luck. You got to buy a new one of these. So bad design on Chrysler's part, but we're going to show you how to fix it. So most of these are sold in sets. I just bought a set, and if you try to figure out which one's which, it's pretty easy, because if you set this down here, you can see that this does not match up. It goes the wrong way, right? So that's not the one for this side. This side here matches up. So this is the one we want. Now some of these I think come with pieces of adhesive on here and little protective strips that are long enough to where you can tuck them outside. This one here does not, but I've peeled it back a little bit there and up here, so that I can kind of keep that out, so that when I put this in there, I can grab hold of those and pull them off the rest of the way. The only reason for that is that way it's not sticky when you're trying to slide it. It's smooth while you try to slide it. And so essentially what I want to do is I want to take these two tabs here and fit them in these two tabs here, and then this piece right here, which is the piece that broke, is going to go in this hole, and then that's held by a Torx bit on the other side. So let me show you what that Torx bit looks like. Alright, so when you open the door, over here there's a Torx bit, and this is a T20 is the size of the Torx bit. And you're going to want to unscrew this. However, I'm going to tell you right now that you're not going to be able to do that, because the piece that's broke off on the other side is just going to twist. You're going to have to figure out some way to hold that. So let me show you what I did. So this is the plastic piece that broke off. Now if I put my Torx bit on the other side and I turn it, okay, I've got it over here and I'm turning it, you can see that just rotates. You're going to have to figure out some way to hold that. I was able to just take a pair of small needle nose pliers, and I was able to grip that enough to where I can turn this, and as you turn it, more of it comes out, which makes it easier to grip. And then finally that came out, and then I can take my Torx bit out, and that's just a screw, and then once I get this in place, I'll put that Torx bit back in. Alright, so before I try to stick this on here and attach it, I need to wipe this down and clean it real good. And then once I got it clean, I've got some alcohol prep pads here, and I'm going to take those, and I want to make sure that I've wiped this down with the alcohol prep pad. So you can see that gets some additional dirt off that the rag didn't get off. Flip it over on the other side, make sure I wipe this down. And I've got another pad I'm going to go over the second time. Alright, so now we're ready to slide this in place. and then attach that Torx bit back in there. So I'm going to try to match this up where these two tabs are about the right height. Try to make sure that my stuff here that I want to pull off is sticking out a little bit. And I slide it up and down a little bit. I can kind of feel where it goes. It looks like that's lined up right. I have to try this a couple times. I might have to get it up underneath this piece of plastic, get it far enough forward. Not sure exactly what the deal is here. But for sure, both of those tabs are going to have to go in at the same time. Alright, so it's important to note that this goes over the seal here. At first I was tempted to try to make it fit underneath. That's not the way it is on the other side. It kind of goes over a little bit. So I'm going to try to line these things up to where they fit in there. And getting both of them in at the same time, it's going to be a little bit of a trick. Alright, I got the top one. I did not get the bottom one. So we'll try this again. Alright, still did not get the bottom one. All right. Almost had it. See, you got to compress this foam. So that foam is trying to keep you from pushing it in all the way. Alright, so according to the tab here on the bottom, this still needs to slide down about 1/4 of an inch. You can see my tab here and my hole, and they are off a little bit, so that means this still has to slide down some. Alright, let's slid down a little bit more. I'm still about 1/8 of an inch off. Alright, we're getting very close. So on the other side, this panel is below this top piece of sealant. So it confirms it still has to come down some, but I just don't think I can pull it down anymore. So I'm going to go get a piece of wood and a hammer so I can put up here at the top and gently knock this down a little bit. Alright, so I got a piece of scrap wood and a hammer here, and we're going to try to very gently put this up here at the top. And gently tap that down so it gets to the right level. It still has to go down some more. Oh, that looks like that moved some, and now my post is going in. So that's down far enough. All right, so now we got our Torx, our T20 Torx bit, and we got our screw, and we're just going to insert that into our hole over here, and we're going to push our strip in where that lines up. Screw that down, and don't over tighten it because that's just cheap. Now don't over tighten it because that's just cheap plastic, and it's going to break just like it did the first time if you put too much stress on it. Alright, so that's lightly tightened. Now I'm just going to grab this strip that I had up there, this one here. Again, this is just the sealant, or the protective coating on that piece of foam with the sealant, and press that down. Not so sure how good a contact that's making, but it's okay. So those two clips are holding this in here, and then we've got our Torx bolt holding that in there. Alright, looks like new. So hopefully this doesn't break and come off and flap again while I'm driving down the road at 60, 70 miles an hour like it did the first time. Hopefully this will last for a little while. But that finishes it up.